There was a time when everything felt like too much. Not in a dramatic way, but in that slow, draining kind of way. Work was non-stop. My head was always full. And my home, it wasn't a disaster, but every room held a quiet kind of chaos. Piles of papers I hadn't dealt with, drawers that wouldn't close, corners I avoided looking at because I didn't have the energy to deal with them. I didn't expect decluttering to make a difference, but it quietly helped me find calm again. Each small step made life feel lighter, and that change added up over time. So today I want to share with you 9 small habits that help me change how I live, not just how my home looks. Things I learned the slow way, and a few I wish I'd known sooner. Maybe one of them will be the shift you didn't know you needed, just like they were for me. Habit 1. Start with just 10 minutes. It's hard to know where to start when your home feels like it's quietly falling apart. You notice one messy drawer, then remember the hallway, the dishes, the pile of laundry still sitting upstairs. And before you know it, the weight of it all stops you from doing anything. This is the habit I turn to. When I feel that way, I set a 10-minute timer, grab a soft bag, and walk around the house choosing 10 things I'm ready to let go of. Nothing fancy, just 10. Empty packaging, expired coupons, socks with no pair mugs I don't reach for anymore. The trick, I don't just collect them. I remove them that day, either straight to the bin or straight to the car for donation. No keeping boxes of maybe someday clutter in the corner. It's not about changing your whole house in one go. It's about moving gently, steadily in the right direction. And if you often find yourself stuck on where to begin, I'm sharing something simple tomorrow that might help, just a quiet way to start, especially when everything feels like too much. Habit 2, the cute trap. Let's be honest, it's not the junk drawer that gets us. It's the cute stuff. The mug with the gold rim. The tiny baskets you swear will make the pantry look better. The dress that's not really your style, but it's 20% off and kind of inspiring. These things feel harmless, but over time they crowd out what you actually need and they distract you from what truly works in your real life. Here's what helps me now when I feel that pull to buy something just because it's cute. I pause. I save the link. I look around at what I already own. Do I already have something similar? Will this solve a problem or just take up more space? Most of the time, the want fades after a day or two, and what's left is clarity. We don't need more charming little things. We need less decision fatigue, less maintenance, more room to breathe. And that brings me to something most people get wrong about tidying. They jump straight into organizing before they've actually let anything go. Let's talk about that next. Habit 3, clear it first, then organize. I used to think I had an organization problem, that if I just bought the right bins or labeled everything neatly, my home would finally feel calm. So I did what a lot of us do. I opened a messy drawer, got excited, and went straight to Pinterest. I'd order clear containers, matching jars, tiny dividers. It felt productive, until it didn't. Because the truth is, I was organizing clutter, not solving it. What I didn't realize then was this: if you skip the letting go part, no system will work for long. You'll still be rearranging things you don't need. You'll still feel overwhelmed every time you open that drawer. Now I do it differently. I don't start with how do I organize this. I start with what can I remove. Take the kitchen, for example. I used to have 5 spatulas, 2. I never used because they didn't fit in my hand. They looked good, but they got in the way. Once I let them go, suddenly the drawer felt easy. No organizer required. Letting go is the real reset button. When you're left with only what you use and value, the organization often takes care of itself. So before you buy another bin or start labeling shelves, pause. Clear first. Choose less. And once you've done that, the next step is to simplify the things you touch every single day. That's what changed everything for me, and we'll talk about it next. Habit 4. Simplify the things you touch every day. Number 4. We tend to think clutter is about the big stuff, overstuffed closets, junk drawers, garage shelves. But the things that quietly drain our energy the most, they're the small everyday tasks that never feel smooth, like getting dressed. I used to waste time every morning digging through mismatched socks, some too tight, some worn out most with no pair. And somehow that tiny hassle set the tone for the day. One weekend I threw out every sock that didn't match and bought a full pack of the same kind, same color, same length, same feel. It sounds simple, even silly. But from that day on, I've never had to think about socks again. Since then, I've done the same with other things I touch every day. One kind of hanger for my clothes, one pen I like using instead of random ones, a small tray near the door for keys and essentials. These tiny shifts remove small, constant decisions, the kind that quietly wear you down without you noticing. And once that daily noise fades, it gets easier to notice the things you've been holding on to, not because they serve you, but because they used to mean something. That's the next place I had to look. Habit 5. You're not the stuff you keep. Number 5. There was a time when I held on to objects because I thought they held pieces of who I was. A bracelet from a trip I barely remembered. Old birthday cards I hadn't reread in years. A dried flower from someone I no longer spoke to. Parting with them felt disloyal, like letting go of a memory meant I was letting go of the version of me that lived it. But here's what I've come to understand. We are not defined by the souvenirs we keep in drawers. We are defined by how we live now, the way we show up, the way we treat others, the choices we make daily. Letting go doesn't erase anything important. It simply makes space for what's real today. I no longer keep every memento. If something still speaks to me, I keep it with care. If not, I thank it silently and let it go. And when you practice that kind of clarity, even in the emotional stuff, it becomes easier to face the small decisions too, like what to do with the items you're stuck on, the ones that make you hesitate. That's what we'll look at next. Habit 6. Ask yourself the 5-5-5 question number 6. Some items don't spark joy, they spark doubt. You pick something up, hold it for a moment, and freeze. What if I regret letting this go? Maybe I'll need it someday. It's not that bad. Should I just keep it? I've spent way too much time stuck in those moments, holding a sweater I never wore, an unopened candle, a book. I felt guilty not finishing. And every time my brain made it harder than it needed to be. Until I found one question that cuts through the fog. Will this matter in 5 minutes, 5 days, or 5 years? Most of the time, the answer is no. 5 minutes after letting it go, I've already moved on. 5 days later, I don't even remember it. And 5 years, it never even comes up. This little question helps me pause just long enough to see clearly without overthinking, without guilt. It gently reminds me that not every decision is a big one and not every item deserves that much space. And when you start seeing things that way, you also start seeing the value of space itself. Not just cleared surfaces, but empty space with a purpose. That's where we're going next. Habit 7. Leave space on purpose. Number 7. For a long time, I thought empty space was something that needed to be filled. A blank wall add decor, a half-empty drawer, fill it with backups just in case. But over time, I've learned that space itself can be valuable not just practically, but emotionally. Think of your home like a game of Tetris. When everything is packed edge to edge, there's no room to move or adjust. But when you leave intentional gaps, things flow better. Life flows better. Now I stop before a shelf is full. I don't line every surface with objects. I let drawers stay half empty because that's what makes them useful. That unused corner, it might be the reason the room feels peaceful. That open shelf, it might be why your morning feels lighter. Leaving space is a quiet way of saying I don't need more to feel complete. And that's a kind of freedom no container can give you. Still, no matter how much we declutter, there always seem to be those tiny landing zones, places where life just piles up. But even those can become gentler if we let them. Habit 8. Give your drop zones a home. There's always that one surface. The entryway table, the kitchen counter, the chair in the bedroom where things just land. Keys, receipts unopened, mailbags you didn't unpack yet, and somehow it becomes a clutter magnet without you meaning it to. For a while, I kept trying to clear these areas again and again, but they always filled back up because I wasn't solving the real issue. These weren't random messes. They were habits. So instead of fighting it, I started giving those habits a home. I put a small tray by the door for keys and spare change, a paper inbox on the counter for unopened mail, a single hook where I can hang tomorrow's outfit instead of draping it over a chair. Just like that, the clutter stopped feeling like failure. It became part of the system, one that works with how I live, not against it. Decluttering isn't about changing who you are. It's about making space for how you already move through your day and making that feel easier. And once those landing zones feel lighter, it becomes easier to pause just for a moment and reset the energy in your space before the day carries you away again. Habit 9. Build a reset into your day. There's a moment, usually late afternoon, when the day starts to blur. You've answered messages, cooked, cleaned, maybe worked through half a to-do list. And suddenly the house feels a bit off again. Not messy, just unsettled. I used to push through, hoping I'd catch up later, but the truth is that unsettled feeling would carry into the evening and I'd end the day already behind. Now I pause for 5 minutes. That's it. A soft reset. I fluff the sofa cushions. I clear the dining table. I walk room to room just once, not to clean, but to notice. Is there anything I can put away quickly? Anything out of place that's distracting my eyes? This isn't about perfection. It's just a chance to take a breath before the evening rush starts. And the ripple effect is real when I reset my space, I reset my mood. Even a small reset builds a sense of steadiness, the kind that holds you through the rest of the day. I didn't expect decluttering to change much. I just wanted to feel less overwhelmed. But little by little, it gave me more than a tidy home. It gave me space to think, to breathe, to come back to myself. If any part of this video gave you a place to start, I'm so glad. Because that's how it begins, not with a plan, but with a moment of pause. A shift in how you see your space and yourself. There's no perfect timeline, no need to get it all right. Just keep moving gently toward what supports you, what feels honest, what feels like peace. Thank you for being here. I'll be back soon with something new, something simple just like this to help you keep going. And if you'd like to follow along, feel free to subscribe, but no pressure. This space is always here when you're ready.